pop into your laundry room and grab some bleach. I have yet another way to create unique patterns, shapes, and designs with your stencils, masks, and die-cut scraps. Every technique video is narrated live while I'm doing the technique, so you're getting a real-time view of how the whole process works. Pull out the supplies I'm using and create right along with me, pausing as you need. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Before we begin, I'd like to put out a note of caution about using bleach. Please make sure that if you're putting bleach in a container other than what it comes in, that it is marked clearly and it's kept out of the reach of children. Also, work with bleach in a well-ventilated area so you aren't overcome by fumes. When you're working with bleach, you want to make sure that your surface area is something that either you don't mind getting bleach on or that is covered so that way it's protected. For this particular technique, I took some bleach from my container here, just using a little pipette, and put it into a spray mister. Now, this is always going to have bleach in it, and that's why I've got it labeled especially, so that way I know this is bleach. When I don't want to use this anymore, I'm going to make sure that all the bleach is out of this, and I'm just going to dispose of it. I'm never going to use anything else in here because I don't want there to be any kind of reaction. All right, now that we got all of that out of the way, you can see I've got my splat box down here and I have a piece of paper toweling in here to catch any overspray. This is going to help protect my area so that way I'm not getting bleach all over the place. I've got a whole bunch of cardstock that is going to look really gorgeous when it reacts with the bleach. I'm going to show you a few ways that you can use different things to create some different looks. So for our first example here, I'm going to start off with some die cut pieces. Now, the great thing about using die cut pieces is that this is a 2-for-1 situation, right? So you can put some die cuts onto your cardstock. You can create like a little pattern with them. You may want to use a little bit of double-sided adhesive or temporary adhesive to keep it down in place so that way when you spray it, you aren't shifting it at all. We're going to take a risk though. And then always when you're spraying, make sure you know which direction you're spraying so you don't accidentally spray yourself with any bleach. You may even want to wear some protective eyeglasses if you're accident prone. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray this. And the cool thing about this is not only is the paper underneath going to react, but the pieces that I've just sprayed are also going to react. You can add as little or as much as you like. And these pieces can sit here or you can pull them up. Either way. So I'm going to pull these up so you can see what's going on underneath. And you can already start to see some of this transition taking place. It doesn't always happen immediately. And you don't always notice that your paper is actually getting bleached. So there you can see that there are these different patterns peeking up from our pieces of die cut that we put on top. You can accelerate your dry time with a heat tool. This is not going to react with your bleach, so just be careful and go ahead and dry this up. Now that this is dry, you can see how we had a really amazing transformation on the background piece. The difference between the original paper underneath and where it was sprayed with bleach is really remarkable. And it looks very folk artish, very classic. So this is just the kind of look that you're going to get when you use bleach. And then on our die cut pieces, some of them are now two-toned because the bleach reacted really well. In the case of this more delicate piece, you really can't tell too much of a difference. It's got a little bit of modeling on it. You can see this is the original color, and this is the finished color actually. Here, it started off as this navy blue, and now it's more of a midnight. It's a little brighter than it was to begin with, but it seems to have been mostly coated. And then this piece here just really faded. It started off this shade and now it's faded quite a bit. For another way to use bleach and some of your craft supplies, you can also use larger pieces to do masking. So either you can use a die cut piece like this to do a mask, or you can use a mask stencil to achieve either look. You can either achieve the having the center sprayed, or you could achieve having the outside sprayed. So in this case, if I wanted to use the stencil, I can go ahead and spray again with my bleach. And you'll see the reaction start to take place. Again, you can let this sit here for as long as you like, or you can use some tweezers to get your piece up off of here. And if you are impatient and you want to get this drying faster, again, you can use your heat tool. The fun thing about working with bleach is that you never really know what you're going to get until you've bleached a piece of paper once. And of course, just because it turns out one way with one brand of paper, it's not going to necessarily turn out the same way for another brand of paper in the same shade. So this particular paper was navy blue, and it's got this beautiful green change to it from where the bleach hit it around that stencil. Like I mentioned, you never really know what you're going to get with a piece of cardstock, so don't be surprised if the color that you achieve when you spray it with bleach is not the color that you expect. In this case, let's take a look at this gray. And I've sprayed that with my bleach, and I'm going to lift up my stencil, and you can see that I'm starting to get a beautiful shade of purple. I'm going to set this aside because I have bleach on here. And just like any other stencil, I'm going to take another piece of cardstock and flip this over while that bleach is still wet on there and get the reverse image. So I will just press that down with a paper towel. And now I'm going to get that reverse image. And this particular piece is going to be another shade of green on blue. And this almost looks more like a tie-dye look. You've got some real detailed edges here, whereas this one's got that purple going on. These are reacting very, very quickly and will have a little bit of a white chalky finish when they dry, almost like a distress oxide. Of course, fun with stencils wouldn't be any fun if we didn't do something that was floral or leafy. So let's take a look at what we'll get with an organic look, like this beautiful leaf stencil. And again, I'm going to lift up my stencil, pull out my piece of craft cardstock, and put in a piece of red. Flip it over and smush it down on top. And again, I will go ahead and just press my stencil into the cardstock to get a reverse look. As you can see with the craft, there was even a result here. The areas where it's been sprayed are going to become significantly lighter. They will be bleached. It will look kind of like a yellowish color. And the red, even though it's taking a little bit of time to happen, is going to have a beautiful orange color. For a final look, I wanted to show you that you don't always know what you're going to get. So with this pink, you might expect that you would get a lighter pink or maybe an orange or something like that. So again, I'm going to go ahead and spray this one up and set it aside while I still have bleach on my stencil. I'll go ahead and put it on this beautiful hunter green. And again, smush this down to get the beautiful reverse image. And as you can see with the white, with the pink, I'm starting to get a beautiful chalky white. This will turn more white than I could have ever imagined. And in this case, I'll also get kind of a white color with this green as well. It's a little slow drying, so I'll hit it again with the heat. As you can see, the looks that you can achieve with bleach and your stencils and masks is very unexpected and a ton of fun. I really encourage you to pull out some of your cardstock, spray them down to see what you're going to end up with, and then have a little fun with your stencils and masks. I hope you enjoyed this technique and you add it into your toolbox sometime soon. When you give it a try, share it out on Instagram and tag me at @NicoleWattCreates. I always love to see what your creative mind is thinking. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today, and until next time, happy crafting.